I was gonna record. I was gonna record on the grass because it looked aesthetic. But I saw an ant, and honestly, I can't. I can't. Nope, absolutely not. Taking an ant home. Not in the cards today. Um, I guess today's more vlog style. Vlog pod. If you're new here, hello. My name is Nicole-Bethany. First name. Nice to meet you. I am the host of the Freshman Adult podcast, and we meet here every Sunday. If you are not already a part of the community, the Freshman Adult podcast community, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you absolutely are in the know of what is happening. And also, listen, I want us to get a little bit more acquainted. So please don't be a stranger. Subscribe and follow us anywhere that says the Freshman Adult Pod. You can also follow me anywhere at the Nicole-Bethany. And if you're listening and you're not watching, hello to you. Go ahead and subscribe again to our podcast wherever you receive podcasts. We are literally everywhere, guys. Like, yeah, let's dive right in. So why does the setup look like this today? I'm clearly on a phone. Like, what's going on? Long story short, I locked myself out of my car. The short story of the long story, or the longer story of this, is I record sometimes outside in the park. And I wanted to do that today. It's a beautiful day. It's the day right before Labor Day. And the vibes are just so like restful. Like everyone's on this, like, it's a holiday weekend. Like, let's chill out. And I love it. And so I just wanted to come here and have a conversation with you guys and just speak from the heart, but with a vibe that's just chill. And I also look really, really cute today. So I just felt, you know what, it's a perfect day to record. I'm also waiting for someone to come help me because I said I locked my stuff. I locked my keys inside of my car. With that are also all of my recording items. And guess what? My phone is on 2%. So what are we going to talk about today? What we're going to talk about today is something that my pastor actually mentioned today. And he said it, and I had to write it down immediately because it perfectly summarized, I think, what I have been experiencing. And I'm literally going through that right now. Like, one of the difficulties and challenges of being a freshman adult, I think, is grappling with what life means. Like, what does life mean? Like, what is life? What does life mean? And how is one supposed to navigate going through life? How does one even life? You know the phrase, like, life be lifing? How does one life? Tell me, how does one life? How does one life? How do you life? You know, I really want to know. I really want to know. And I'm learning, but I'm also so hungry to have this conversation with you and it be dialogue. So let's get this dialogue started. I would love for there to be more comments in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what thought comes to mind as you listen so that I can read your comments and we can actually have a dialogue. Video forward. I want to make this podcast forward. I want to make sure that we do that for one another. Oh, I think my saving grace is here. I don't think you can see me. Oh, I think you can. My phone is not going to be dead, which is great. Okay. Here's the quote from my pastor. His name is Dr. Christopher A. House, and he says this. He said, "Life is about learning to live between the tensions." And I added to it for context. Life is about learning to live between the tension of life and loss, of grief and joy, of sadness and happiness. What are those different tensions? I want to kind of talk about that very briefly today. I mean, lately in a day's span, something amazing can happen, and then you hear that maybe someone lost something. How do you manage your emotions with that? How do you learn how to deal with that? So that's kind of the conversation I want to have today. I think that's the direction we're going, but I don't want to shy away from the situation that I'm going through. So let me process that with you. So, long story short, I created a plan. I created a plan and I said, you know what? I am going to make sure that after the responsibilities that I have to do today, I went to church. Hope you did too. And then I went out to eat with some folks. And then afterwards, I came back here, which with some folks from church. And then I came back here, even though I wanted to just chill, watch a movie, kick my feet up. I was like, no. And I was praying and I said, God, there are about 35 people at least on YouTube, but maybe I actually don't even know the number, but there's a handful of us that are here, that are expectant, that are waiting for the conversations every Sunday. A really close friend of mine, really close friend of mine, she shared this with me. She was like, your podcast is like homeroom. Like we like going to homeroom, going to home base. And I just so appreciated that. So, you know, this wasn't even I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but like, thank you all for the love and the support on the podcast. I don't think I have said that yet. I've just been kind of going. But just to pause and say thank you so much. Like the words of encouragement, the feedback, the inspiration has really been um, has really been helping me continue to go forward. So what happened after all of that, right? I came here and I did what I was supposed to do. One would say I was super prepared, but a mistake happened. A mistake happened. So I come to the park and I'm like, you know what? I need to use the restroom because I'm in a park. So let's use the restroom now before I have to set up all my things. Okay. I go to the restroom, take my bag, and I close my door. Now my car has a lock in it that I'm sorry, my car is like from 2022, so it's a fairly new car, and it tells me when my keys are stuck in my car. I've had this car for like 4 years. It tells me when my key is stuck in my car. Tell me why today of all the days, is the day that it decides that it doesn't want to tell me that my key is in my car. Usually, if my key is in the car and I close the door and try and lock it, it won't lock. Today, though, it decided to lock. And I guess it just is a little bit of a glitch. It's set up a way where you don't lock your key in your car. And I've said multiple times, I'm so grateful this car is literally for me because I have a lot of bags. And sometimes I forget my bags in my car. But every time I know I have my key on me confidently because I trust that my car won't lock unless my car will not lock unless the key is absolutely not in there. And I guess as I'm speaking, I'm like, man, the amount of faith I had in my car, the amount of faith that I had in my vehicle to help me um, keep track of where my key is. I got so used to the habit of, I'm just checking, I'm pausing a little bit because I'm trying to make sure the roadside assistant doesn't miss me. but I'm checking to see if the car, I'm checking to see usually if my key is in my car. But honestly, I've gotten a little lazy about it. I've been forgetful. I can be honest about that. And, you know, yes, this is like, you know, leave your key in your car for the first time class, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what class this is. Um, and remember, we've been talking about embracing the journey and not beating yourself up and all that. Absolutely. I want to make a clarification. What I'm not saying is don't take responsibility for when you do something and do it wrong. I take responsibility for not checking on my person to make sure that my keys are on me. I put so much faith and trust in my vehicle. Whew, jeez. The amount of faith and trust that I had in my vehicle to make sure that it communicated what it needed to communicate to me, and it let me down. But of course it let me down, Nicole-Bethany. It's a car. It's a car. It's going to do that sometimes. It's not going to be able to hold you up. And last week we talked about not giving up. The encouragement was don't give up. Let God lead you and trust that He's got you. But I think sometimes we put our faith and trust in other things more than before we do in God. I think sometimes we'll put it in our car, we'll put it in a person, a romantic partner. We put it even in a degree. We put it in a resume. We put it in accolades, even ourselves. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, my car failed me. That's just what it is. But I take responsibility for not doing my due diligence and checking myself. So keep going. I find out the car is locked. I thought that I lost it. I go trace my steps to find the keys. I come back and the car, I see the keys right there in the front seat. It's right there. And it's funny. Someone called me, an older woman that I love dearly, and she was just complimenting me about something. We were just chatting. She had no idea I was going through this. And I literally said, hey, yeah, my key's stuck in the car. She's like, what? She's like, you know what, Nicole-Bethany, go ahead and call the police department. They should be able to help you. So I called the police department. Turns out the police department guys, by the way, at least in certain areas, in this area that I'm in, they don't help you. They used to help you get stuff out of unlock your car if you get locked out of your car, but they don't do that anymore. So I called 911, the dispatch, and I was like, hey, like I don't know if this counts as an emergency, but I am locked out of my car. And so she gave me a list of things that they do now. And so she told me, check if you have roadside assistance. And I didn't know that I had roadside assistance. And I looked on my insurance app. Thank you, insurance. And this is not sponsored, but shout out to Geico, I guess. Like, I have Geico insurance and they have roadside assistance. And um, I forgot that I did. I forgot that I did. And one of the things that I was thinking about was just like, wow, like I wouldn't have known that I have this available to me. Not if I, well, let me put it this way. The kind of person I am, I notice that sometimes I won't do the deep digging until I really need to. And take that as you will. Like, I feel like there's pros to that, but there's also cons to that. I think the pros to that is that, I can be very adaptable. I think I'm very flexible. If there's a situation that is challenging, I'm going to find a way to make it work, you know? The cons to this, though, is that sometimes there are things or there's stress that could have easily been avoided if I looked into it deeper ahead of time. So I forgot that I actually made sure for my insurance. Freshman adult, please get insurance. By the way, very important. But I forgot that I put roadside assistance on my on my insurance. So when I was asked, hey, do you have this thing? I wasn't able to I wasn't able to respond. I was hesitating. I was like, I don't know, I have to check. And something just said, check your app. So I checked my app and it was literally the first thing that I saw. I clicked it, they asked me a few questions, and within 5 minutes, actually less than, I was able to get connected to someone that could assist me. And now they are 9 minutes away. Why do I bring that up? Because I think, one, I can honestly do a better job at really looking into, just going deeper into things, reading more, keeping track and tabs of what I have, being prepared for an emergency. As I'm getting older, like these things happen, and maybe a part of living between the tension of, you know, two tensions, joy and sadness, or um, grief, or happiness, or whatever the case may be. These tensions where, 1 minute you can be really excited and the next minute really afraid. Life has this way of having you in these in betweens, and learning how to navigate, as my pastor said, that's what life's about. Life is about learning how to navigate between these two or multiple uh, feelings and experiences at the same time while managing yourself. It's hard, it's challenging. And I make space for that. Like, let's take space and acknowledge that that's challenging. And I want you to feel seen in this moment. Like, that's why you're tired. That's why you've been exhausted. That's why you've had, days where you just get home and all you can do is knock out, because it's not just that you're sad, or it's not just that you're down, or it's not just that you're grieving, or it's not just that you're overstimulated, and you may be excited and you get home and it's a whole bunch of things working together all at the same time, and you processing as an adult how to navigate that and still show up for yourself every day. And when I think about this situation that I'm in, still being locked out of my car as I record this podcast episode, I can't help but think about how I have to become more prepared for that. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's a prayer I can pray is, God, help me to be prepared for the ups and downs of life as much as I can. I may not have been prepared. I mean, how do you prepare for your keys to get stuck in your car? Right? Let's be for real. However, what I could be prepared, though, is say, okay, Nicole-Bethany, just in case you were to get into an emergency tomorrow, do you have a plan? Do you have someone you can call and you know for a fact they'll pick up? Do you have someone that you can get support with? They can pick you up or whatever. You won't be stranded. I was talking to someone and she was sharing with me, she was in an emergency situation and she didn't have anyone she felt she could call. Do you have a plan and put in place? Third, do you know what you have available to you? If I had been more, and listen, I'm just being for real. I'm not beating myself up right now, but I'm just, being honest with you guys. And I'm like, you know what? It is not responsible of me as an adult to not know whether or not I have roadside assistance. I should know that off the top of my head, because in an emergency, that's not the time to be hesitating and wondering whether or not I have help. Are you prepared for the things you can prepare for? I can prepare for best case scenario or best case response in an emergency situation. I can prepare. I can try my best and yet still leave room for an opportunity to grow and learn and navigate the in-between of maybe not being prepared at all. And then the next time it happens, I will be prepared. You get what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. They're about 4 minutes away. So I have about 2 minutes with you. What's the takeaway? I'm going to read the quote again. Life is about learning to live between the tension of life and loss, the tensions of grief and joy, the tensions of sadness and happiness. And my prayer for you is that we together as a community, as a class, as study buddies, okay, let me keep going. Learn how to prepare for what we can prepare for. There are things I can absolutely control. And it shows that I don't know, I think it just shows a certain level of awareness that life does have ups and downs. If I navigate life with just as if it just has a bunch of ups, I mean, I think that's naive. I'm learning that's a naive way to think about it. Because then when the down part comes, like this moment right here, I'll be so sad. But I'm tired of being sad. Right now I'm recording this. I'm not sad. I'm not stressed. I'm not anxious. There was a moment of like annoyance, of course. That's normal. But I'm not going to allow this to ruin my day. Like, this is just a part of life. I made a mistake and I take responsibility for that. Am I ever going to let keys out of my sight? Probably not for a long time. And that's the beauty of having moments like this. But I also can take a moment and reflect and say, how could I have done better? I could say, oh, I should have kept my keys in my bag. Duh. But maybe I should have known that everything will be okay and I'm already covered. Everything's already covered. I have roadside assistance. I didn't need to call 911. You know what I mean? Life is going to have ups and downs. It's about how we manage it and how we manage our expectations. And like I said last week, the biggest hack, how to go further and being able to do that is doing it with the Lord. So I leave you with this, I don't know whatever it is you may be going through, but just know that there is going to be a tension that you feel. And I'm just making space for that. There's space and there's room for you to navigate that tension and learn how to process and learn how to go through it. And you don't have to do it alone. Who do you call when you're sad? Who do you call when you're in an emergency? Who do you run to? Who do you go to? Yes, I pray that you run to God when you're going through trial, when you're going through struggles. Yes, but then what friend do you have that can pick you up or can take you out or can, that you can rely on, or a family member? For the freshman adult, the one that may be independent and maybe you're far from home, you're responsible for building that circle yourself. I think I talked about that in one other episode. And then for the one that maybe family is still not too far away, you're not too grown to ask for help. No, we're not. Best believe my parents are going to find out about this one for sure. And I'm not ashamed that I made a mistake. The bugs are back, guys. The bugs are back. The bugs are back. The bugs are back. Okay, I had to do it. It was just asking for it. This was sweet. It was cool to process this with you. I knew I wanted to talk about that quote, but I didn't know how it would come together, and I'm grateful that we were able to do this together. Life has ups and downs, and I've had a lot of ups this week, but I had a few downs. Actually, the same day I had an amazing up, at the end of it, I had a really, really tough down. And I personally don't know how you could navigate doing that without God. That's just me. I don't know. But what I will say, though, is don't be surprised by the ups and downs of life, freshman adult. It's, I guess, a part of it. At least that's what I'm learning. Let me know if you get what I mean. Let's talk. Let's have dialogue. I want to continue this conversation. If you like this, podcast, this video, give it a 5-star rating, like this video, share it with someone to encourage them if it encouraged you. And of course, subscribe so that we can continue having conversation. Like this as well, I like to say, so that this podcast can reach more freshman adults, i.e. like you and me. Again, I'm Nicole-Bethany, your host of the Freshman Adult Podcast. And it says they're like 0 minutes away, so I'm gonna call them right now. And I'll definitely leave an update for you all. Okay, I'll see you in the next podcast. Bye, guys.